Atlanta Falcons and the Washington Commanders. Commanders are 4.5 point home favorites here. Atlanta Falcons offense down Kyle Pitts now. This thing has regressed to where we thought they were going to be as we entered the season. 42 is your total. Steve and I look at this thing. I don't want to back the Commanders at that number for sure, because I don't think that that's a number that's, 4.5 for a Commanders team against anybody. If anything, I'd be looking towards an under. Commanders have no explosion on offense at all. The Falcons, what little bit the Falcons had from an offensive perspective is no longer there either. And now even the threat, even though they were not using Pitts, even the threat of Pitts now is gone, right? I mean, even though they weren't using him properly, I don't see very many points being scored in this game at all. I understand 42 is a low total, but hell, we're in the age of low totals. For me, it's a couple of teams that are going to struggle. This has 2010 or 2013 or so, just written all over it to me. So under the only play for me in this one.
Washington's kind of spunky at this point, huh? Their defense in particular, third in pressure rate with only the number 18 ranked blitz rate. I will again echo Adam's sentiments that Taylor Heineke continues to get lucky. I think it was his first pass of the game last week. He should have been picked and Texans dropped it. So it's really, lucky for the Washington offense at this point. So in that situation, I mean, the Falcons have been a team that I've been interested in backing as a dog, but completely uninterested in backing as a favorite because of how run heavy they are, how successful they are running the ball, and how slow they move their offense. They're one of the 3 slowest offense in the league. Those things add up to really keeping games close. It's not a situation where you want to bet them to win by more than a field goal like we've been asked to do the last couple of weeks. But now as 4.5, I don't really care if Kyle Pitts is playing. To your point, what you said, they're not using him anyway, so who cares? So I think this is a situation where the Falcons can keep this close against a quarterback that might give them a couple of extra possessions in this game if he finally actually starts turning the ball over like the metrics say he should have been already. So, yeah, I think this sets up nicely for the Falcons to keep this game close.
Adam, you got to be – I think if you look and some of these advanced numbers, we talk about this, season long we have to start to at least look what we've seen with our eyes lately. And while the Falcons were efficient with the offense at the beginning of the season and certainly even through the middle of the season, it's been really, really bad of late. And so again, I know they weren't using Pitts, but the threat of Pitts is something, at least for this team. I don't want any part of backing either side here. Do you have a play in this one?
No, I do not. It would be Commanders or pass if I were going to get involved. And guys, I've been the one advocating for Atlanta for a while. Atlanta in the NFC South for a while I thought was a good bet. But the wheels have fallen off here for whatever reason. And there are going to be people who argue the idea of Kyle Pitts wasn't being used correctly. That doesn't mean the defensive coordinator on the other team doesn't have to game plan for Kyle Pitts. And when you don't even have that threat on the offense, I think this is going to be a situation where Washington is consistently playing 7 and 8 in the box and saying, if Marcus Mariota can beat us, cool, because he's not going to beat them. And this defense is now healthier than it has been for the entire season. And last week, with Sweat and Payne and Allen and even getting a little bit of Chase Young back, what we started to see? Kind of started to see flashes of the 2020 Commanders defense, which was elite. And now we're going to look at it from the perspective of the Atlanta Falcons and say, is this the team that's going to be able to do anything against Washington? Now, on the other side of the ball, I also don't think that the Atlanta Falcons defense is the defense that is going to bring the regression against Taylor Heineke's YOLO play. So 4 is not a number that I love just because of what Matt mentioned, that it is not an explosive Washington offense at all. But I want no part of the Falcons in this game. And I can't do the under either because of the Falcons defense.